So what do? I called my contact at the Brain Tumor Network, and the experience they give you there is they pair you with a navigator. They usually have a nursing background, and you give them your medical records, and they do some clinical trial matching to help you with the inclusion exclusion criteria of your diagnosis to those trials. Now, the reason you do this versus just going to your doctor is there's too much information out there, and it's probably not reasonable for you to expect or for the doctor to know all of the research out there, know all the opportunities. They wear the white coats, they have all the suffixes behind their name, but in the reality of brain cancer, there's so many new experimental things, it's probably hard to keep up with. Plus, the institutions they work with only have so many resources to invest in so many different trials or opportunities that whatever plays they have for you are the ones that they suggest to you, even though they're not all the plays that are available to you. But a place like the Brain Tumor Network can look across all the options that are out there in the clinical trial world and help you make some sense of what it is you're trying to accomplish. I also called the Musella Foundation. So they're a nonprofit. Al Musella is the head of that. He has decades of experience. He even has so much knowledge, and I was able to call him directly to kind of talk through what was going on and him to make some suggestions and him to make some guidance decisions, but also then to put me in touch with XCures, who has Cancer Commons, which is another navigation. So XCures is a company. One of the outreach things they have there is called Cancer Commons, very much like the Brain Tumor Network. They connect you with a nurse navigator, ask you about your diagnosis, ask you about your disease, and then make recommendations on treatment paths. So this could be clinical trials, this could be other types of things on the market that have been used in other settings or would be new on the market. And they all give you some recommendations about this. So, I've got two different conversations. They take me on two different paths, and they've given me lots of data. So I went from nothing constrained to a few constraints, but still overwhelmed in how much information there is, and knowing that we still don't have a lot of time. So what did I do? I loaded all of this feedback into a GPT I created that was trained on lots of glioblastoma things, and it looked like this. I'd been doing this as part of coaching. I configured it to be someone who really, a coach that knows how to kind of guide you through these things. It was mainly focused on like relational health. But as I was getting more and more clinical information coming at me, and I knew that we were going to be going down this path, I began to train it on clinical research or quality of life information, temozolomide, challenges to treating brain tumors, soup protocols, all these regimens, all these standards of care that are out there around glioblastoma. And then I loaded Tracy's pathology report into it as well. The report from the Cancer Commons scientist information and the information from the Brain Tumor Network, because there's just so much information. And I asked it, as we'll see here, prioritize this for me. So, I said, what are the top 3 clinical trials for Tracy based on her diagnosis? And it has all this information in it, and it's going to kind of come back. So it can automatically look at her diagnosis from that one report, and it can look at the conversations I had with Cancer Commons, the report that came back from the brain tumor research. And these are like 10-page reports. And the good thing about GPTs or large language models or generative AI is it can make sense of lots of information and come back to you with something that's relevant. And this isn't to make decisions necessarily. This is to inform me so that when I do talk to doctors and clinicians, I can bring some knowledge to the table. So let's just see what kind of feedback it gives us. So I'd asked for top 3. I guess it knew we were in North Carolina because 2 of the 3 options were in North Carolina, one at Wake Forest, one at Duke. But then it does say, you could need to confirm eligibility with oncologists or the trial coordinators. And there's some other things to take in consideration.